Welcome to part 4 of the Chainlink Project Technical Drawing Series. This is the 4th and final installment. In this video, what we are going to be doing is creating a multi-pack of different sheets that we're going to be using to create a comb-bound booklet of different drawings. First thing we need to do is make sure that we have our part open. I've noticed some people that were working have some issues with linking their drawing to their part because the part wasn't open. So the first thing you need to do is open the part. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and open our drawing as associated. And it's doing its linking. And there is our drawing. At this point, you should have gone ahead and made any corrections from last week's assignment and made those corrections and gotten everything taken care of before you start this video. Okay, let's jump into the first part. Okay, sheet number 1. Down here, you'll notice that we do have a little tab that says sheet number 1. That happens to be our 3-point projection. We are going to make a change. In this particular sheet, we're going to change the name to 3-point projection. To do that, come up here to sheet 1, right click, edit sheet format, zoom in, double click into here, and change it to 3-point projection. Close the sheet. And click out and then close the sheet. And that is finished. Okay, next part. We're going to add a new sheet. And what we're going to be doing in the sheet is going to be what we're going to call an expanded view. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here in the lower left-hand corner right here where it says add sheet. We're going to go ahead and add the sheet. And unfortunately, it does not carry anything over because there's no metadata. So we have to change this every single time. So we're going to go ahead and edit sheet. The box is there. You just have to click into it. We're going to call this expanded view. Click out. And obviously, we're going to change this. What we found out that first and last name doesn't really work. So use first initial, last name. Make sure it's capitalized first initial, period, space, capital, last name. Okay, once we do that, we're going to close the sheet. We'll zoom out just a little bit. Now, expanded view, I'm going to go ahead and open up and refresh. And there is my views. Now, everything we're going to need is going to be in this orientation. So if everything that you have on yours is vertical, you're going to start off with this view. Don't worry about, don't look at the front part. Look at for this view here. So it's a little bit different from 3-point projection. This is going to be our standard view that we're going to be looking for. So there's something in this orientation. Again, if it's vertical, you have to rotate it when you drop it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right in this kind of this column right here, kind of in the middle. Just drag right about kind of in the middle, eyeballing it. The two edges on the right-hand side for the groove is kind of in line with the line between 1 and 2, and drop it. If you need to rotate this thing to get it flat, use the rotate button up here before you do anything else. Yes, it's trying to drag a view up here, but hit the rotate button. A little window will appear up in here. Hand rotate it 90 degrees. Close the little window and then continue. Expanded view, I want to put one. Now, as you can see, this thing is trying to project all the different images everywhere. Well, this is what we need. So I'm going to drop the top one up here. I'm going to drop the bottom one down here. This side over here. This is kind of like taking a box and cutting it and opening it and laying it flat so you can see all the different sides of a box in one view. So it's kind of going to have a kind of a sideways T formation. Now the one over here is going to be different. This one is not what we need. We need the reflection of this. So I'm going to go ahead and close out my projected view. Come back over here. I need the opposite. Drag and drop. It is in line. Drop it. And that is the expanded view. Close that. That is all there is to it. Now, if we don't want the origins to show up, we can go to View, Hide Show, and we can go ahead and get rid of the origins. And that is it for expanded view. All right, now the next drawing we are going to do is going to be what's called a section drawing. In other words, we're going to take one of these views, we're going to put a slice line right down through here and see what's on the inside. So what I need to do is I need to start a third sheet. So this is going to be sheet number 3. Even though it's identified as sheet number 4, it's going to be sheet number 3. So I'm going to rename this. I had a slight technical error the last time I was doing some recording. Okay, again, we're going to have to change. Don't do that part. It should come up sheet 3. Okay, so I need to go ahead and edit my sheet and edit sheet format. And going to change that to section view and change the name. Out and close the sheet. Next thing I'm going to do is make an adjustment, because when I actually do this, you may have to click the refresh button. I'm going to go ahead and do that. We're going to have these objects going to be really, really small, and we want this to be nice and big. So what we are going to do is that we're going to change the actual viewing aspect ratio, or the scale, which is right down here. So we're going to click. We have a whole list of different options that we can choose. We're going to go to user defined. Click user defined, and you're going to type in 5:1. That's 5 to 1, which means 1 millimeter on the actual object is going to be equal to 5 millimeters on the paper, and vice versa. 5 millimeters on the paper will equal 1 millimeter on the object. So we're making this thing really big. We're only going to have 2 views on here. Okay, gonna go back to this, and yep, sometimes it does that. Now, the view that I want first has to be vertical, and it has to be the short end. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for the view that's going to match up to this part right here, but I want from this angle, and it needs to be vertical. If yours is horizontal, you'll have to use the rotate button once you drop it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this. As you can see, it's much larger. I'm going to drop it right here, right in the middle vertically, and lined up with this, kind of eyeballed it. Once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and click the green check mark. Now I need to find the button that says section. So, okay, well, where is that, sir? I'm going to go to View Layout, and you will see a button here called Section View. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click this button. It's going to give me this really weird looking line. I need to line it up with the center, which is right here. Since I've got this nice little line, I don't have to put a center line in here, but you can see the points right there help me line everything up. I'm going to click this, and like I said, it's got a really weird line. I'm going to go ahead and lay it right across that line right there. I'm going to click the check, and when I do, it gives me a section. And that is the section right there. I'm going to drop it right here. I'm going to close this out. Now, let me explain how this works. This right here is called a section. All the slash lines right here are actual solid material, and right here is a void. So there's no material here at this particular view. Now, we do need to do a couple of adjustments. I need to go ahead and add the view right here. And for me, that was the right view. You can use the left as well. They're the same, sort of. We'll go ahead and go to annotation, note. I'll drop a note right here. RIGH right view. Highlight everything. 24. Underline. Click out. We're not quite. I'm going to go ahead and click this little check mark here. Okay, now we're not quite where we need to be, and we're not even, so we got to change this one over here. Change this one right here. We're just going to underline it, so we'll double click. Open that up, and then underline. Click out. And make sure that the section and the right are kind of even. There. And that is the section view. Okay, sheet number 4. This is going to be a really easy one. You're going to spend more time editing the actual title than actually creating the view itself. These next 3 are going to go really fast. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to create my next sheet, which is sheet number 4. Yep, got to do the same thing again. Edit the sheet. This is going to be our isometric view, which is a view that's based for both axes are based on a 45-degree angle. I will explain that in a few moments. Isometric view. And change the name. Click out. Okay. I'm gonna keep my scale ratio at 5:1. If it's not, go ahead and go back to user define and select 5:1. Open up our palette, refresh. This one's going to be really easy. Why? Because there it is right there. This is the isometric view. So at 5:1, I'm just going to click and drag this over here, right smack dab in the middle. Okay, now what is isometric view? It is a technical drawing showing the 3D view where the line right here and the line right here, even though if we had one, are at about a 45-degree angle. Actually, it looks like it's 30. Should be 30-degree angle. And that is it for that view. Nope, there's nothing else to it. And now we're ready for our next drawing. Okay, we're going to do sheet number 5. Yep, same thing. You guessed it. I'll go ahead and edit sheet format. Double click in here. We're going to change this one to what's called dimetric view. Click out. Close the sheet. Oop, my bad. Shouldn't have closed the sheet there. I forgot the name. Yeah, this sometimes happens. You start to go on autopilot. So don't go on autopilot like your instructor. Okay. Go ahead and open up the palette. Refresh. We're still at 5:1. If not, go ahead and change it. And looky there. There's dimetric view. And you can see the difference between these 3 different views. So I'm going to drop that, again, right in the middle of everything. Close that. And guess what? This is now done. Okay, the last view that we are going to create is going to be the trimetric. So we're going to open up sheet number 6. Yep, you guessed it. We're going to have to go in here and edit sheet format. This is where using that metadata would really come in handy. So this is going to be the trimetric view. Out. Don't forget the name. Out. Close the sheet. Open your palette. Refresh. And there's the trimetric. Drag and drop. And that is now done. That is the 6 sheets that we need. So we have 3-point projection. We have our expanded view. We have our section view. We have our isometric, dimetric, and trimetric views. Okay, the next thing, I just realized that I misspelled trimetric. So if that happens, go back and change the spelling. It's one of the things that doesn't exactly have a spell check. All right, the next thing we need to do is print. Okay, time to print all 6 sheets at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back up here to File. Actually, we're going to come over here and quickly click Save. Come over here to File. We're going to drop down to page setup. We are going to verify that everything is the way we had it to begin with, which is scale to fit an 11 by 17. So we are good. I'm going to click OK. File. I'm going to go down here to print. Make sure we're at 593361. And we're going to click all sheets. Now, when you click OK, you're going to have to walk over to the printer and retrieve your prints. Don't leave them on the printer, because once you do that, you got a couple other things you're going to have to do. And I'm going to click OK. And that is sending the data over to the printer, which is by the pillar, which is against the wall by the pillar next to the 3D printers. So go ahead and retrieve those. And then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go to Mr. Anna and get, that would be me, and get your custom-made title page, and then go ahead and comb bind your documents, and you'll have to have them in this order.